All right, this is our preseason film review for sending this out for week 0. This is going to go back over a couple of things that we talked about at district camp that I think are important, and also going to go over a couple of things that we didn't get to at district camp that are also important. So just a real quick, got about 5 clips here. We're going to start back with this legal shift versus false start conversation that we've been having a lot of, and let's talk about the differences here. So we watched this clip at district camp, but we need to remember the difference in the linemen and the backs, who can do what and when. So linemen cannot hard shift. They can shift, but they can't do a hard shift or a quick movement because that is going to simulate the snap. That's going to look like a pull or a pass set to any defensive player. All right, so the linemen are very, very limited into how they can shift. They have to do so very slow and very smooth. The backs, however, have very few limitations. They can move backwards, forward, sideways. They can't be moving forward at the snap, but they can move forward prior to the snap. So we have to be very careful when we call a false start on a back. We have to be very careful about calling a false start on a back. But a lineman is a very different situation. So in this play, we have linemen that make quick movements. We also have backs that make quick movements. This should have been ruled a false start because of the lineman movement, not because of the back movement. So let's start with what we have to say is legal here. We watched the quarterback under center. He's going to jump straight back. That's not illegal. He can do that. The tailback, that one setback back there, he jumps straight back. There's nothing, he can't do anything about that either. The 2 receivers out here to the right in that bunch formation, one jumps left, one jumps right. Nothing wrong with that either. They can legally be moving around like that, okay? The linemen, though, specifically, I think right guard, right tackle, when they jump back like that, it's a different situation. That's simulating the snap. Okay, that's simulating the snap, and now we got a false start. You can also tell, this is where it gets hard to judge intent, okay? But you can also tell by their actions here that they are trying to cause B to encroach, okay? All right, that's what they're trying to do here. We have to have clear intent on that. The rule states clearly intend. I think here it's pretty clear. But either way, those linemen, even if that's not clearly intended, the lineman cannot make those quick movements. That's a false start. All right, our next clip is going to talk about how we spot forward progress deep downfield in a 7-person crew. Big misconception. 5-person crew, everybody has, the short wings have 100-yard responsibility. In a 7-person crew, it doesn't change very much. You have 98 yards. Okay, there's only 2 yards on the field where the deep wing gets the forward progress spot. That's from the 2 and in to the goal line. The other 98 yards is still the responsibility of the short wing. This is done incorrectly quite often, okay, and it's a misconception that we have about our mechanics. So let's look at an example of how we would handle a long, quick pass that our short wing is going to be 40 yards behind. How are we going to handle that? So we get a pass play. Our short wings correctly are staying on the line of scrimmage until the ball crosses the line of scrimmage. So at this point right here, our short wings' feet have not moved since prior to the snap. Our short wings are still standing exactly where they were standing in the pre-snap. Okay? At this point, now they're going to head downfield. But as you can see, the ball is quickly caught, advanced only a yard, forward progress stops at the 39, and down he goes. Okay? So our short wing is way out of this play. What we want to have here is exactly what we see happen. We want the deep wing to come up and show presence around the ball, get players off each other, get the football up. Let's get the football back to the middle of the field. Let's get the players especially. So the deep wing is going to come up and show presence. They are not coming up to spot the ball. They are going to verbally communicate to the short wing the yard line at which they have him down at. In this case, the 39. So we're going to repeat that 2 or 3 times. We're going to communicate to the short wing 39, 39, 39. as we come up to deal with players in the football, okay, not coming up to put our foot down on a yard line, not to get a spot. That allows the short wing to continue up the field and then square off and spot the ball as normal. In the deep, so the short wing's got the spot at the 39, and the deep wing is coming in and verbally talking to these players, getting everybody separated, and we're ready for first down. Okay, make sure we're killing the clock. We notice the short wing come up the sidelines, killing the clock. So they've killed the clock just as soon as he went down. Okay, we've signaled he's down in bounds. It's excellent. You see, first we got to run the clock because he's in bounds, and then we're going to kill the clock because it's a first down. So those signals are all made as we're coming up the sideline, just as we see here. Deep wing does not have the spot. Deep wing can communicate the spot, but he doesn't physically mark the spot. That would be true all the way down to inside the 3-yard line, all the way down to the 3-yard line. All right, reverse mechanics. All right, watching some scrimmages and things. I've seen some of this too. So reverse mechanics. We're going to utilize reverse mechanics on a punt, on a interception return, or a fumble return. Any change of possession. Okay, so here we go. This particular play is a fumble. It's fumbled and it's picked up in its return. Now, if he falls on that fumble right there, none of this is really going to matter. If he just falls on the ball, it's down right there, spot the ball, let's go. Okay. But here we have a return. So now everything is flipped. We just reversed everything. Short wing just became deep wing. Deep wing just became short wing. Deep wing now has forward progress responsibility. Short wing now has goal line responsibility. And as soon as we know we have goal line responsibility, that's where we've got to go. We've got to immediately start backpedaling to the goal line. If we see grass in front of that runner, we need to turn and run to the goal line. As we're moving, we're officiating the blocks out in front of the runner. The deep wing should come up, not this close. That's too close to the runner. Okay, that narrows our vision too much. We need to stay back a little bit, stay back about another 5 yards, keep our eyes on the blocks that we need to see out in front. And then we're going to have forward progress spot. Okay, once he's down, and especially since he went out of bounds, now our short wing, who was headed to the goal line, now should come back into the screen. Now they should come back up, sprinting up, getting in that sideline and getting that player out of that opposite sideline. All right, and clean that play up. Deep wing, forward progress, short wing, cleaning the play up. It's the exact reverse of what we would normally do. Also on reverse mechanics, our back judge needs to stay behind players. Back judge never needs to pass players. Just as a referee would do on a long run or long pass, the referee should never leave people behind him. Neither should the back judge. The back judge should never leave players behind them. Okay? Stay behind the players. Don't pass the players because things will happen. Okay, we got a player on the ground right there. We can't run by him. And then we end up with possibly taunting or whatever else might happen. Keep everybody in front of you. All right, this play. What we're going to do when we have a bad snap or a blocked punt. This play we did not get to at district camp, so this is a little something new for some of us. All right, so the first thing we have to know, this is a 7-person crew mechanic. This does not work in 5-person because in 5-person, our line judge is releasing and going downfield, and it's totally different. In 7-person, both of our short wings are going to stay on that line of scrimmage until the ball crosses the line of scrimmage, which is their same mechanic for every down. So what do we do if we have a bad snap? Well, the first thing we have to note pre-snap is where is our referee lined up. So this is a left-footed kicker. So our referee, if we fast forward till we can see where he ended up being, our referee is aligned on the kicker's foot, kicking foot. So that puts him on the press box side in this particular case. So we need to know if the referee is on our side or not on our side if we're working short wing on these scrimmage kicks. If the referee is on your side, then when this bad snap happens or that kick is blocked, you're going to hold the line of scrimmage. So this official down here should hold the line of scrimmage up until we have an actual change of possession, until the return team actually gains possession of the football. this short wing, who's on the same side as the referee, should stay on the line of scrimmage. The short wing at the top, who's opposite the referee, should fall back with the referee and help them officiate that loose ball and all the goings on around it. Reason for this is we got to keep the line of scrimmage officiated. We haven't had a change of possession yet, so the kicking team can easily recover this bad snap or recover the block kick, either one. They can advance it, they can run, they can throw, they can kick it again. We have to have reference to that line of scrimmage as to whether those things happen beyond or behind the line of scrimmage. If we do kick it, where did it go? Where did the kick end? Did it end beyond or behind the line of scrimmage? If R fouled or touched the ball, where was that relative to the expanded neutral zone? We have to know that. There's so much information that we have to know based off where that original line of scrimmage was and what's going to happen around that possibly in this play. So we've got to keep one official on that line of scrimmage. Final clip. Onside kicks. One of the hardest plays in football to officiate. Onside kicks. So we're going to look at this one. First thing we need to recognize is that just like that illegal false start trying to be a legal shift play that we looked at the very beginning, somebody's been working on that all summer, and they're going to do it this Friday night. Okay? Somebody's been working on onside kicks all summer, and they're going to do it on the opening kickoff this Friday night. We're going to see an onside kick. All right? Be ready for it. So we're always expecting that if we're on these front restraining lines. Now, here's how we want to handle this. If the ball comes toward you, you're going to officiate the ball. If the ball is kicked away from you, you're going to officiate the blocks. Now, let's back up before we get to all that. First thing we have to make sure is that we're not violating the plane of the neutral zone. Second thing, we have to make sure we don't have a pop-up kick. So as far as the neutral zone is concerned, we look pretty good here. The ball is kicked. Nobody's broken that plane. So, but on a short onside kick, we have to be very particular about that. We can't let them gain an advantage on this short kick. If he kicks that deep, we can let a player, they can be over there just a little bit. We don't have to call that every time. But on a short kick, we got to be on that, okay? We also have to make sure he doesn't illegally pop up the ball. Either one of those, dead ball, kill it, shut it down, okay? All right, second thing, stay still. Keep your feet still, okay? There's going to be a lot of action to officiate in a short split-second amount of time here. You don't need your feet and eyes moving at the same time. So keep your feet still so you keep your eyes still so that you can take in all that's about to happen or could potentially happen here. So the ball's coming to the bottom of the screen. So the two officials here at the bottom of the screen are going to officiate the ball. So let's see what happens to the ball. It is first touch by the kicking team. It did hit the ground, but it did not go 10 yards. So we need a beanbag right there, initiating that we have first touching by K. The clock should not start, okay? The ball is dead right there. The clock has not moved. It's first touching by K. R is naturally going to accept the ball there on about the 49-yard line. All right, we handled that. But what else could have happened to the ball? It could have been touched by R first. It could have been muffed by K, and now it's still rolling around the field. It could have went out of bounds. There's so many different things that could happen to the football. So play side, officiate the football. What about the blocks? Well, that's to the backside officials up here at the top. So let's talk about those blocks. So what can we do and not do? Straight from the rule book, no member of the kicking team shall initiate contact on an opponent on a free kick until at least one of these three things has happened. The legal kick has traveled 10 yards. This kick never made it 10 yards. The kicking team is eligible to recover a free kicked ball. Well, that's only going to happen if it goes 10 yards and hits the ground. Doesn't matter what order, but it's got to do both of those things. Or R has touched the ball. Neither one happened here. Or the receiving team initiates the block within the neutral zone. Okay, so that's what we're going to see here. So we have to have an opinion on these blocks. We have to know what happened here. So that's a legal block right there at the 45-yard line because R initiated the contact. He came and met him, and that's now everybody's legal to block. Same thing is nearly happening down here at the 48, 49. He's trying to initiate a block. We end up catching the ball first, which is going to kill the play. So had he decided to make contact with him instead of catch that ball, that would have been legal also, because again, R is initiating the contact. So we have to have opinions on those blocks. That's way too much to take in for one person, all right, or two people, even two people. So you can't watch the ball and the blocks and do all that at once. So we have to split duties here and make sure that's a good pregame conversation to know how we're going to cover these onside kicks. Best of luck here in week 0. Let me know if you have any questions.